Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Richard. Shall we start? I think we'll start, right? 9:04.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
75 people are there. Okay, so I will. Good morning again. Thanks for joining. Uh, we discussed a few things yesterday. This is in continuation of the same session. Industry expectation from fresh MBAs, right? So, any questions from yesterday? Any thoughts? Anything that you would like to comment? Anybody has any questions at all? I know this is not a normal subject, so I understand that. So yes, unless you have a question, I would begin. Right. Today we are covering awareness of industry trends or happenings. Why you need to know, and there is some recent examples I will give. Right. So shall I start, because I need to get a response from people. I am not getting any response from people. I find it very uncomfortable if the audience who's attending the class doesn't respond at all. Can somebody acknowledge you people are there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. Okay, thanks. Uh, yeah, let's keep it interactive. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. So Yeah, let's. I will ask. You may know some of these things. 1 minute. Okay, so I will start with the question. Did I cover this slide yesterday? I did not, right?
No, sir.
No, right? Because actually I am doing multiple sessions on this, so I get confused. Okay, so let me start by asking, which is the parent company of Flipkart?
Walmart, sir.
Walmart.
Walmart. Walmart, right? Walmart is the parent company of Flipkart. Why has Amazon filed a case against Future Group? Do we know? Do we know if Amazon has filed a case against Future Group? No Googling, okay. I just want to know. I mean, if you Google also, that's fine, no problem at all. But do we know Amazon has filed a case against Future Group? Do we know that? Yes or no? It's okay. I mean, if you don't know that, that's fine.
No, sir.
No,
No.
right? Okay, I'll answer that. Somebody is typing. Are you guys typing? You can respond also, actually, right? Okay, that is. Do you know it actually, Shivani? Do you know? So tell me, why has Amazon filed a case on Future Group? It's okay. I mean, whatever you know, you tell. Okay, no problem. That's okay. So Amazon has filed a case on Future Group because Future Group, Amazon has a tie-up. They had bought a stake in a company called Amazon Coupon Private Limited, which is a subsidiary of Amazon has bought a stake in Future Group's subsidiary called Future Coupons Private Limited, right, for 1,500 crores. And as part of that contract, they had put a condition that Future Group will not partner or sell stake or in any way partner with any other retail company in India. And Reliance name was written specifically in that contract that they will not partner with Reliance. What has happened is earlier in October, Future Group has gone and sold, has announced that they will sell their retail business to Reliance Retail for some 27,000 crores. So Amazon has gone to International Court of Arbitration in Singapore and filed a case. And now they are filing case in India also in one of the high courts to stop that, to get the stay on that, right? That's what is happening. Which international retail company has partnership with Star Bazaar? Do you know what is the parent company of Star Bazaar? I'm sure you know it actually, right? All of you know this. You know Star Bazaar? Which international retail company has partnership with Star Bazaar? No? We don't know, or you don't want to answer that question? It's too simple a question.
Oh, don't know, sir.
Don't know? Okay. Have you heard of Tesco? Tesco has a big center in India, in Bangalore. Have you guys heard of Tesco? Tesco is a very big, is a retail giant based in UK. So Star Bazaar, before starting Tata, Star Bazaar belonged to Tata, right? So they have partnership with Tatas, right? And there are several questions actually. What is the latest trend in retail and e-commerce industry globally? How do e-commerce companies differentiate themselves? I'm not going to ask those questions, right? So thing is, you need to be aware of what is really happening in the industry. Specifically, the industry where you specialize. So you don't specialize in any industry today, but you may be aspiring to go to certain industries, right? For example, people from finance will go to they may practically go to any industry actually, because finance is horizontal. Similarly, marketing is also horizontal, right? But it suffices. It's actually probably suffices to say that most of the company that come to take finance students are from consulting, audit, management consulting, some of the insurance and banking companies and so on, right? So you need to have idea of trends about the sectors which you are most likely to join. Similarly, HR. Now, the industry trend is one thing, functional trend is another thing. And that's the reason we are having sessions actually, right? So today you have a session on retail and e-commerce. Today you have a session on retail and e-commerce with Professor Jitendra Patri, who was the chief marketing officer of central malls all over India. He is going to take that session. So he is going to tell you about what is the structure of retail industry and e-commerce and what is happening in the industry today, right? So that your understanding of the industry actually goes up, right? Similarly, we have insurance. Mr. Pramod Deshpande, I think you had a session with him already. He had talked about BFSI, Mr. Santosh Chandrasekhar, right? So, demonstrating knowledge of your specialization or industry of your prospective employer. What is a prospective employer? Where you are applying for. Demonstrating knowledge of your specialization or industry of your prospective employer conveys an unambiguous message to them about your keen interest in the company or industry. It's many times actually, I have faced this situation many times. People may ask, what do you know about my company? Right? You may still immediately get stumped. So like I said yesterday, they may ask, why have you chosen marketing specialization? You should have an answer, right? Similarly, when you go for an interview, you may be asked, so okay, tell me about the company. Maybe for example, let's say I have an example later on, but any company you pick actually, right? Let's say there's a company which recently interviewed people, your senior batch, a company called Cargill. Have you heard of a company called Cargill? Cargill. I know people have heard about Cargill wars. Cargill war that happened between India but that starts with K, I think, right? This Cargill is an American commodity trading company. They are the biggest traders of commodities and logistics in the world. One of the biggest. Cargill, Bunge, these are the companies. So the commodities that McDonald's and Burger Kings and these food chains buy, because they need tons and tons of thousands and tons of wheat, right? They buy these wheat commodities from Cargill, and Cargill actually ships commodities from places like Brazil to India and all over the world actually, right? So they had come. So we had told our students to actually prepare to kind of prepare for Cargill. What industry they are in, what is their business, how big they are, right? So that when you go and face them, you are already comfortable. They because your whole aptitude changes actually when you know about somebody, right? You are generally at ease. Plus, they may also would like to know how much do you know about their industry and their company, right? So industry, and I hope people don't have confusion between industry and function. Is there a confusion between industry and function? I'm asking this question. I would like answers on this. What is an industry and what is a business function? Please. See, actually, unless you acknowledge it, I may be just vomiting few things and going away. What is the difference between industry vertical and a business function? I think I had explained this in my first session actually. Industry vertical and a business function. Banking and financial services is a business function or industry vertical?
Industry.
Industry vertical, Ritu. Correct. Right? Okay. And then information technology
Like
is an
group of
industry.
business will be industry.
Pratima, what is that? Group of?
Group of business will compute industry.
Group of business will basically constitute an industry, right? They will constitute a group of similar type of businesses will constitute an industry vertical. Is it fair to say that a group of businesses working in the similar business area will constitute an industry vertical? Fair, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
is healthcare an industry vertical? Healthcare.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Healthcare is an
Yes,
industry
sir.
vertical. Healthcare is an industry vertical. Oil and gas is it an industry vertical? Yes. Manufacturing is it an industry vertical? Very broad industry vertical. Yes, it is. Insurance is an industry vertical, right? Information technology, is it an industry vertical or it's a function?
Industry.
Why? Because IT is there in the company as a function also, right?
Yes, it will be
Ravi
become
Villa.
both, sir, then.
Yeah, so it becomes both actually, right? So IT is an industry vertical because there are a group of companies which are working in information and technology as a sector, right? Especially for India, right? If you go to, let's say, a company, if you go to, let's say, Taiwan, which is a manufacturing hub, right? Where there are very few IT companies may be working, right? I mean, regardless of that, IT will still be industry vertical as well as function, but majority of companies they will have IT as a business function, right? As a supporting secondary function. If you see Porter's value chain, which we have seen, right? So I think this distinction has to be clear. As a management student, this distinction has to be clear, right? So if when you are going, when you are, so HR is a function, marketing is a function, which cuts across all industries because every industry needs marketing, whether it's healthcare, oil and gas, e-commerce, retail, management consulting, banking and financial services, insurance, whatever, hospitality, right? So there are number of industry verticals, right? Functions cut across industry verticals, right? So you need to have a good idea about your trends within your function. I'm not saying you need to know everything. You need to know what is happening actually in the industry, what is really happening in your industry vertical and business function, right? So what that means, latest happening in the industry, right? New practices or processes or innovations that are happening in the industry, right? Because so much of innovation happened in e-commerce and retail industry. So much innovation. The fastest innovation has happened. Earlier, the maximum innovation happened in banking and financial services, right? In the last decade and a half, other than banking financial services also continue to have so much of innovation. The fact that you are able to pay using your phone today, sitting anywhere, right? You go to buy vegetable, you're able to. That's the innovation in banking and financial services. Payment banks have come in, right? So risks in the industry. What are the risks in the industry that your prospective employer is part of, right? So that is also important. You should have some idea, right? And that's the reason we are having those sessions actually. Regulation. Who are the regulators, right? New industry specific technologies, right? And there are terms like fintech, insurtech, edtech, regtech, infrastructure tech. Regtech is regulation. There are a lot of technologies which have come to regulate company for corporate governance, right? For corporate governance purpose, a lot of technologies have come, right? Where because the managing, regulation within the companies has become very difficult. So there new technologies have come where people can actually manage what they call it compliance and risk management, right? So so that's who are the leading players in that industry, what kind of corporate restructuring, mergers and acquisitions are happening in that industry, right? So take an example. So let's say HUL, if you're on the right side of the screen, if Hindustan Unilever comes to do interviews in the campus, right? So you want let's say any company which is coming, so you need to search the latest information about FMCG, fast moving consumer goods. That's an industry to which Hindustan Unilever, Dabur, ITC, Marico, these Britannia, these companies belong to fast moving consumer goods industry, FMCG it is called, right? So you need to search what is happening in FMCG industry. Who is the parent of HUL, right? Key products of HUL, latest news about HUL. What are their financials, right? Last quarter financial last year, right? How are they trending? Are they doing well? They are not doing so well. If they are not doing so well, why they are not doing so well? If they are doing well, why they are able to beat the competition? What is their market share, right? Who are the leaders in Hindustan Unilever? Who is the CEO, CFO? What kind of role they have offered, right? What role they are offering, and what are the skill requirements? You need to have a very good idea about these points, right? And I will share these slides actually after today's session. I will share these slides. But you need to go in a very clinical manner. And trust me, these are very, very, very important aspects of cracking an interview. You should know about the company that you are going. Your confidence level will go up, right? And then you will already feel sense of belonging. And the employer is looking for that actually, right? So I'll give you an example. I don't know whether this has come to you or not. Has the central placement reached out to you people for a company called Axis Cage? Axis Cage. No. Axis Cage. AXISCADES.
No, sir.
No. Yeah. So that's the issue we are trying to solve actually. Anyway, so we had a meeting on this. So see, this is the latest example. There is a company which has come. They are asking for HR profiles, right? And we are still in the process of working on it. And they have, as part of filtration exercise, as part of the first exercise of shortlisting, they have given these exercises. This is the real. This is I just blocked their company name by XYZ. Otherwise, this is the exactly copy and paste I have done from what they have sent it to us, right? So this is the test they have given. Now you see, they have asked students to prepare a note on 16 topics, right? 16 topics, and what all these. And trust me, we have not designed industry preparedness program after seeing what companies are. We already have a very good understanding what companies are looking for. And this is an example which matches with exactly what we are trying to do today, right? What we are trying to do, how we are trying to prepare you. So company XYZ write 6 lines each about their company, what business segment they are in, who are the competitors, who are the clients, right? What global company XYZ is. So their parent company, about global company. What are the open positions that we are working on as we speak? So they even wanted to go and search what kind of open positions, requirements, vacancies they have in their company, right? So some people may think, and let me just search open position at the fresher level only, but others may go and search, go to career section and then write down all the positions that they have, right? So 6 lines each on that. Topic 2, now engineering services industry. That tells that they are in the engineering services industry, right? 6 lines each about engineering services industry. Perks and benefits offered in the engineering services industry. Now, let me ask a question. Name a company which is in engineering services. Name an Indian company which is in engineering services. I'm asking you people. Can you name an Indian company? It's a very big company which is in engineering services industry. Girls and guys.
Is it IBM?
IBM, engineering services. Yeah, software engineering services, you can say. So, yeah, you could ask a question. What engineering services you're talking about? See, engineering services, what is the traditional engineering? So there's a company called EPC, Engineering, Planning and Construction, right? Engineering, planning and construction is an industry, right? Construction industry. Tell me which is the biggest company in India which is there in the engineering. So when a company sets up a nuclear power plant, will you call that company part of engineering industry? Or if a company sets up a oil refinery, you will call that as part of engineering industry? Yes, right? So traditional engineering, till the time software engineering came up, engineering services were hardcore engineering services, right? That when you engineering discipline, mechanical engineering, right? Electronics, electrical engineering, right? Software and computer science has come in last, I mean, it has been there for last 50, 60 years. But if you see Indian schools and all that, computer science has come in last, let's say 35, 40 years, which has become very big industry. Have you heard of Larsen and Toubro? Larsen and Toubro, L&T. Have people heard of L&T?
Yes, sir.
Heard of L&T, right? L&T is the biggest Indian engineering and planning EPC company, is engineering firm, right? While it was set up by two Danish guys, Larsen and Toubro, but it's an Indian company. They come to India and they set up, right? It has no foreign stakes and all that. So anyway, the idea is just to provoke a thought. So they are asking about engineering service industry, 6 lines each you have to write. And you can't, when you write 6 lines, right, you have to really think about it. You can't copy and paste, right? Because they would like you to write describe that industry. Perks and benefits offered in engineering services. Now this is the core HR role. They are recruiting for HR role. They want you to go investigate what is the salary structure of people who are working in engineering industry. Now you see, why I'm reading every line is because every line is fully loaded, right? So you may be thinking, why am I reading every line? But it gives you a very good idea. Talk about HR business partner model. What is an HR business partner? Let me ask HR people. I had talked about it yesterday very briefly. What is an HR business partner? HR people. HR business partner. Just think about the word itself. HR business partner. What is the meaning of HR business partner?
Generalist role.
Generalist role. Yeah, but I understand. That's great. Very good. What is that? HR business partner. So HR
Entry level jobs.
Yeah, it's entry level job. No, but I'm asking what is this HR business partner model? Seems like there is a model which HR uses to work as HR as a function uses to discharge their duties, right? And that's the right language. So what HR is a primary function or it's a secondary function in the companies? Support function. HR is a primary function or secondary function in the companies? HR is if in Larsen and Toubro, will HR be a primary function? It's an engineering company. Engineering will be the primary function. Manufacturing will be the primary function, right? Isn't it true? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right? So HR business partner model is basically, you see, HR as a central. When we say secondary, we are not trying to minimize the importance of it, right? That not to be confused, right? Or when we secondary function, we are not trying to reduce the importance of it. HR has a very important responsibility. What HR does is HR works with the entire company. What HR is doing, HR is trying to take care of employees' need. If I have to use very crude language, HR is trying to take care of employees, right? In various aspects, compensation and benefit, learning and management, business operation, HR operations, right? Anything else. There's so many things happening, right? With employees, health and safety and all that. HR business partner, what HR does is HR will identify HR generalist, right? And then they will assign to a department, right? Let's say marketing department, HR will assign one person saying that this person, Pratima is going to be the business partner from, as an HR employee, she will be the business partner for marketing department. What happens when a marketing department employees have any issues, which they need help from HR, they will reach out to Pratima. Right? So what happens is Pratima from HR becomes a business partner for marketing function. She is a representative of HR which is interacting with the marketing function. Right? So that's, and there are various flavors of that model. So they are asking, talk about HR business partner model, six lines each. HR operations, HR ops challenges in engineering services industry, HR compliance, right? There are a lot of labor compliance laws which all companies have to follow, right? The labor laws, companies have to send out a report every 6 months or something to labor department, right? In terms of who are, their workers, what is the category of workers and all that. So who does that? HR does it, right? It's called workmen. So you have to identify workmen and non-workmen, right? Similarly, if you see topic 8, 9 and 10, right? Topic 8, 9 and 10 tells you, talk about 4, 5 AI artificial intelligence tools for job description management and recruitment marketing. They're also saying topic 9, talk about 4, 5 AI tools for screening and ranking resumes, right? Similarly, AI tools for candidate assessments, right? Role of automation in recruitment, role of gamification in onboarding, right? So you can see they are even going that low cost sourcing channels, right? Low cost sourcing means sourcing of candidates for recruitment, right? So companies are going very deep, even interviewing management students, right? How you can sustain, you have to up your level, right? This industry preparedness program is exactly designed to attack this, right? So we can only do so much, right? Rest actually you have to do, right? Because when a company gives an assignment like this, responsibility is yours to search it. You can reach out to us, that's not a problem at all, right? But I think as a management student, you need to, to summarize, you need to have a very good understanding of industry in general, definitely the function, your specialization, right? The function to which you will belong eventually in the industry, right? If you're marketing, you are going to be a part of marketing function. If you're supply chain, you will be part of supply chain function. You may be within supply chain, you may be a sub function called purchase, right? Or maybe you can be a sub function called forecasting, could be, right? So whichever function you belong to, you need to have other than the core subject knowledge, you need to have a very good understanding what is really happening in that industry today, right? In that industry and in that business function. Okay. So any questions on this? Any thoughts? I'm sure a lot of thoughts are coming, but no one is asking anything. Any thoughts, any question? This you cannot do it, right? When you are going for the interview, you should start preparing now, right? Go to look for articles in
Similar
please go ahead.
kind example for finance people, sir. Like you showed the example for HR. So similar kind example for finance or marketing.
Yeah, we can come up with it. We can come up with it. That's not a problem at all. See, this may vary because this has come from a company, right? So this may vary actually from company to company. But see, what we are doing actually, right? And who was that asked question? I forgot the name. Pratima. So Pratima,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you are having function on finance, right? Professor Santosh Chandrasekhar is doing sessions on finance. You should bombard him with the questions, on similar questions actually, right?
Okay, sir.
Right, you should ask him. You have a gentleman by Pramod Deshpande. He is doing session on insurance industry. Has it happened already, insurance industry? Or he is doing today?
Yes, sir. Done today.
Done already, right? Anyway, so we will try to come up with an example like this, right? 1 minute. Let me write down. See, the problem is the industry is, there are at least 30, 40 industry verticals, right? It's very difficult. We can come up with a business function, example for business functions, right? Like marketing, supply chain, information technology, what is happening, HR, right? Finance. We'll come up with the template like this for business functions. So I think I will do that. When you talk about industry, say for example, the Cargill food which came. Cargill food was in a commodity trading and logistic company, right? Now they may still ask, what are the trends in this? You still have to search, but there are very small industry verticals. I can give in 1 minute I can count at least 15, 20 industry verticals. So, and you will have time. You will have at least 2-3 days ahead of time before you are, or maybe more ahead of time before you are going to appear, right? The moment you start sending your resume, right? You apply. When how the process is going to work. Center placement will send you. Will say, oh, this company is planning to recruit people, right? They will send you a Google form link, and you are supposed to say if you are interested or not, and you have to enter your details in that form. If the moment you say you're interested, you should start working on it. You should start working on that company, right? Read as much as about that company, the type of role they're offering, what kind of skills requirement, similar roles in the market have, right? How you can prepare. Reach out to your faculty. Reach out to me. That's not a problem at all, right? And we will help you. But majority of work you have to do, right? But we will come up with similar examples for finance, marketing, supply chain, and other specialization. I think business analytics is another one. Any questions on this? Only one person is asking question. Any thoughts? Any comments? What are you people thinking? Is it good? Is it difficult? Very easy? Anyway, so similarly, like I think that's a good way to enter into this, right? Awareness of contemporary business technologies, right? This is another very important aspect. As you can see in this one, right? They talk about 4 or 5 AI tools for job description management and recruitment marketing, right? So now let's ask a question. So technology drives the business strategy, or business strategy drives the technology strategy? Is the question. What drives the company's overall strategy in new age companies? Business strategy or technology strategy?
Technology strategy, business strategy.
Business strategy. Somebody saying business strategy, somebody saying technology strategy. Others, you can write, you can also write on the chat box. What drives company's strategy? Technology strategy. Sindhu is saying technology strategy. What about others? I'm sure you can type it actually, right? Others, you don't want to participate? I'm not really sure why people don't want. Robotics. Robotics is a technology, but robotics, technology strategy, so mainly. So Santosh, robotics is one technology, right? Robotics may drive strategy. It may not be enough for robotics to drive strategy, but yeah, it may be part of a strategy. But the question is, does the technology drive business strategy, or business strategy decides what technology to use nowadays? Or is it both? Let me give an example.
Business strategy.
Sorry?
Sir, business strategy will connect that the IT technology.
Okay, Aspia is saying that that business strategy will decide technology. It used to be like that. You're right. Or shall we just say, Aspia, is it a bit of both?
Yes, sir. Like when business strategy comes on, then only technology grows. When technology grows, they will adopt in the business strategy.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. On this question, let's say in Uber, Uber's business strategy is based on technology, or is the technology strategy more important in Uber or business strategy? Which one is driving which in Uber?
Enough what?
It's
Sir,
difficult to
Fatima.
say, sir, because sometimes technical things needs. When
sir,
comes
because
to competition with business strategy, when comes to customer satisfaction and all, then technological things also helps.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking. Aspia, you were saying something.
Sir, but in developing any strategy, it is very important to begin with a deep understanding of the business, like vision, mission, values, and goals.
Okay, very good discussion.
So it comes wise words when.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, see, I think I appreciate this thought process actually, right? So Sambhavi is saying that both I think will do, right? See, actually, there is. So my last job was with AIG 2 years back, remember 2.5 years back. I was working for AIG, and there was this discussion within this leadership group, right? Which one drives which, right? And there was a lot of confusion about it, right? The fact is, if you take Uber will not exist if technology is not driving the business strategy. The entire, right? What has happened? There were companies like Meru Cabs, right? Right? There were cab companies all over the world. In India, Bangalore, there was a company called Meru Cab India, right? Uber has rendered them completely powerless, right? Because they've brought in technology transformation, right? And Uber strategy, Meru Cab strategy was based on only aggregation. More and more cabs, right? Hard assets, asset ownership, or subscription by cab owners, and then they were saying we'll go ahead with it. But that is not the model. And then you need so many employees. But Uber actually has very few employees in India. It's a very big company, but they don't have a large number of employees in India. The entire business, Uber, if they want, they can run their business sitting somewhere else outside India, right? Because it's a platform, right? Similarly, Netflix, they have changed how content is delivered to households, right? Earlier, content was delivered using compact disc and tapes and all that. They have changed that completely, right? So yes, what Asfiya was saying, that business strategy is very important. Who's your client? How you're going to market? Vision, mission, all that is important. But vision and mission also can, a lot of companies are saying down in their vision and mission, right? In mission, they're saying, we will use the technology. We will always be ahead of our competition in terms of technology, right? Because technology has a power to disrupt businesses, right? All the business disruption that is happening today, largely it is because of technology, right? So I think still, I think it's actually both, right? But technology is playing a very important role, right? My idea of provoking that thought was to tell you that just because you are doing MBA does not mean you can turn a blind eye to technology. I know some of you are maybe doing business analytics, but no, you cannot turn a blind eye to technology, right? I am not saying you must know technology. I am saying you should be aware of, see, we are calling it business technologies. If you see, what we are saying is business technology, right? So computer science graduates, engineers have to know about technology implementation, right? What you people need to know is technology application, right? How technology is going to solve business problem, right? And which are the technologies? These are technologies you must know about. Business analytics, right? Now, digital marketing is not a technology, but it comes into the domain of technology. Business analytics is also not, it's not, business analytics works on a number of technologies, right? Internet of Things, right? There is huge application of IoT in supply chain management. IoT is transforming the entire supply chain. Shipping and logistics, right? There is a huge application. Cyber security, because if everything is going on internet, right? If your business model is based on technology, and if you're using cloud services to host your application. Let's say you are working for an e-commerce company. The entire business is based on technology. If you see Amazon, I used to be in US in 1995 when actually Amazon started, and Amazon, the first advertisement that they used to say is, imagine a bookstore which is size of LA Lakers stadium, right? Like you have a bookstore which is size of Chennaswamy Stadium, right? And then that's how their advertisement used to start, and people will wonder. So the advertisement used to be a conversation between two people, and they say, it is not possible, and they say, no, it is possible because it's the store is on internet. So Amazon started as a book company. They started as a bookseller, but see where they have come today, right? So Amazon calls itself as a technology company, but they are a technology company in retail business. If you search, Amazon says we are a technology firm, because they also have something called AWS, Amazon Web Services, right? So they have technology in such a way, they have started selling technology itself, right? So if a company has their business system on clouds, private clouds or public cloud, right, then cybersecurity becomes very important, right? Similarly, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain is a new technology which actually has huge application in trade settlement. Supply chain also, blockchain has huge application. In healthcare, there is huge application of blockchain. Robotic process automation. Have you heard of RPA? Robotic process automation. Has anybody heard of RPA? And what it does? RPA. Have you heard of an industry called medical transcription? Have you heard of BPO? BPO.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is BPO?
Business process
Ritu.
outsourcing.
Business process outsourcing.
Business process outsourcing, right? Manasa, yes, business process outsourcing, absolutely. So business process outsourcing has undergone a significant, so business process outsourcing is now called BPM, business process management, because what they are saying actually, process outsourcing was what people are doing, they were doing data entry. A lot of companies were sending, scanned copies of bills and medical records and all that in India, right? And they're scanned, and people were sitting in India and then entering data, right? All that has changed. It's changing very fast because of automation, right? So automation has come in a big way, and then most of the automation that has come into BPO industry is because of RPA. A lot of RPA automation. Of course, there is a pattern recognition and all that has happened, but a lot of automation has come into the industry because of RPA, right? Robotic. So basically, what robotic process automation done is, there are bots. They are basically programs. They basically automate the business processes. Repetitive work which is repetitive in nature, right? You take a document, search a particular record line, and then make an entry in a book. That these are like repetitive in nature, right? There is no decision making involved, right? So such processes are getting automated using robotic process automation, right? So we are going to have a session on RPA. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. No, that's fine. So, right. In addition to that, you also need to have good understanding of your functional area, because there are technology in your functional area, right? You need to have you should have an idea. For example, PeopleSoft is a system that used to be there in HR, right? Still there. But there are several others. Workday is a system which has come into HR now. Workday has become very popular. There is a system called Excelity, and then SAP will have some systems in HR. Finance has several packages. In CRM space, Salesforce is one package actually, Salesforce.com. There used to be a Siebel earlier, right? Supply chain has various systems, right? Banking and insurance will have various systems. Have people heard of Finacle? Finacle. FlexCube, people have heard of FlexCube?
Yes, sir.
Word of Finacle. To which company has Finacle? Who has developed Finacle? Who has said yes? Which is good.
Sir, it's a payment gateway application, isn't it?
It's a retail banking application, Santosh. Retail bank. Finacle is developed by Infosys. It's used worldwide. Banking application. Right? A lot of Indian banks also use. A lot of multinational banks also use it. Finacle is developed by Infosys. Very popular product. Similarly, FlexCube is developed by a company called iFlex, which is acquired by Oracle. Right? So now I'm not saying it's easy. Right? I'm not at all trying to say. My intent is not to tell you that you don't know. I also didn't know this actually, right? Unless you search, it is not possible to know. But as an MBA student, you need to know, right? So you still have time. I don't think it's a problem at all, right? You need to find out about what are the most prominent popular packages in your domain, right? Very important, right? Any questions on this? We are going to have a session on IoT, cybersecurity. We are still finding somebody, RPA, blockchain, cloud, AI, ML, and business analytics. We are going to have sessions, separate sessions on these. Please attend those sessions. These sessions are not to teach you the technology, but to make you aware what these are, right? So after attending blockchain session, you will know what blockchain is. What is a single, have you heard of a single most popular implementation of blockchain? It's in the financial services. Have you heard of Bitcoin? Bitcoin. Have people heard of Bitcoin? No? Yes? Bitcoin. No?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bitcoin, your word, right?
Sir.
Yeah. So, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency it is called. See, actually, what is also important, actually, I may have talked about jargon. I talked about, right? You need to know jargons. Again, I do understand. I've worked in an industry, and some of your faculty.
It's a cryptocurrency, sir.
Cryptocurrency, yeah. So, right, all of us, Mr. Dharmendra, Dr. Harshit Babu, we have worked in the industry, and yeah, so it comes very easy to us. I do understand that, right? But cryptocurrency is a very current topic, right? If you are a management student, you must know it, right? You should give a tough competition to other business schools, right? It's very important. If you are a business management student, what we are talking about business technology, what we are talking about is industry trends, right? We are not talking anything outside. We are talking about business only, right? You need to know slightly more than your core subjects and your specialization. Okay. Shall we take a break for, let's say, 10 minutes and we'll come back? Okay. I have some more topics to go. Okay, we'll take a break for 10 minutes and we'll come back. 5 to 10 minutes. And actually, I'm having a very dry throat, so I need to have some coffee or something. We'll come back at, let's say, 10:05. Okay, 10:05 we'll be back. Please attend because I'm going to cover some. Sorry, I got a little late. Sorry about that. There was a queue at the coffee place. Okay, I hope we have not lost the enthusiasm. If at all it was there. Okay, so we'll start again. Are you people with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you still
Yes,
there?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we were discussing about we discussed about technologies actually, right? Now we're going to discuss about global business environment, right? So I'm going to have sessions next week on this global business environment. And have you studied economics? You studied economics, right? Macroeconomics you have studied. Now this is not about economics, related to it, right? So this is another thing actually. Again, earlier we talked about business technologies, right? And before we talked about industry. It's all about business only, right? Now we're talking about global business environment, right? Let me ask you a question, and please answer. No question is actually no answer is wrong, right? Why UK did Brexit? Brexit. Have you heard of Brexit? Have people heard of Brexit? What is Brexit?
Britain exiting from Eurogroup.
Britain exiting from European Union. Absolutely. Who was that?
Nitin.
Nitin. You are absolutely right. But Nitin, why did they do it? Why has Europe decided to exit European Union? Still being done actually, right? But the decision is final. Why? Why are they doing this? There has to be some reason actually, Nitin, right? Think about it. Why will I come out of a European Union is a union of 30 odd countries. I think 27 probably. Right? So UK decided to exit European Union because they thought it's not making sense to them. Right? They were thinking that other countries in European Union are benefiting more out of UK than UK is benefiting out of those countries. In other words, resources, UK resources are being more resources are being used, leveraged by other countries, and they were not benefiting. So they thought we should come out of it, right? Because we are being taken advantage of, right? That's the reason they said that, and they had a referendum. Referendum means they had a vote in the country, and the side which wanted to come out of European Union won, right? Which is the most booming industry in India, and why? Why is Trump for a strict visa regime? Why is Trump trying to do when Trump was there, still there actually? You might lose, maybe, I don't know. It's very neck to neck going on. Why is Trump for a strict visa regime? Any idea why is he creating trouble with visas of foreign workers? Easy actually, right? Very easy. Do you know he was creating trouble with the visas?
Yes, sir, because the residents of America are not getting work.
They are not getting work. He thinks that if you keep inviting foreign people, who will give job to our own citizens, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
industry is saying that okay, our citizens are not qualified. What can you do then? You are not producing enough computer science graduates, enough business analysts, enough management graduates. We have to take people from India then, right? They are more
Yes, sir.
qualified, right?
Yes.
Right? And there could be many questions. What is the Paris Climate Agreement, and what are its implications on business across the world? There's a Paris Climate Agreement happened in 2017 or 18, right? Because whatever the floods happening 2 weeks back, this huge rain that happened in Bangalore and created flood, right? And these floods which are happening there, brush fires, fires happening in jungles, right? All that happening, right? Is all attributed to change in the weather pattern because of pollution. So there was countries met in Paris and they decided to put curbs on countries, saying that they carbon emission curbs. Carbon emission curbs have direct repercussions on what kind of industry you can set up, right? And where you can set up and all that. So it has impact on business companies. So for example, last week there was a news that Infosys is able to meet all their climate, whatever carbon footprint or obligations, right? This has a direct implication on business. Now, as an MBA student, does it matter to you? Probably it doesn't, but it's a good idea to know, right? So anyway, so there is in global, these are all related to business. Whatever questions I have asked, right? These are all related to business only, right? It impacts your job directly. All the questions actually I am asking, and there are several more, they impact your job directly, even your ability to get a job. Pandemic, right? Pandemic is also your impact ability to get job. Lot of companies as a result of Brexit are going to either close, right, or they will have to move out of Britain, right? That's going to impact their business, right? Some Indian IT companies are going to get more work because of Brexit. Some companies will probably lose their business, right? So a number of things are going to happen. So there are things happening in global business environment, right? Globalization versus protectionism. Brexit is an example of protectionism, protecting economy of a country. What Britain tried to do is they are saying that we would like to protect our economy, right? We would not like others to take advantage of our economy, right? Globalization means outsourcing. That is on the second bullet point, is an example of globalization, global outsourcing, right? Insourcing is when you have outsourced something, you're saying, I will do it in house. That is insourcing. Trade wars, right? There are trade wars happening, right? When goods are imported from US, Harley Davidson. Have you heard of Harley Davidson? Trump had a big grudge on India, and he keeps telling when Harley Davidson motorcycle is actually imported to India, there is a 2.5 times duty in India. So if it is sold for $100,000 in US, it is sold for $250,000 in India. I'm just giving an example. That may not be the price, right? And it makes it unaffordable. So what is happening? Indian government puts a lot of duty on that motorcycle in India, and as a result, it becomes unviable for Indian customers to buy it. What happens is, and then it's not that the US American company is still getting $100,000 only. Government is putting a lot of duty on it. Because of that, it's basically because of taxation, tariffs. It's called tariff, right? Trade wars are happening because companies are saying you are not allowing me to sell my products in your country. You are allowing for the sake of allowing, but you're putting a lot of taxes on it, right? So there are US-China trade wars. There are India-US trade wars. There are global trade wars, right? And they're saying if trade wars are not stopped, global economy really can go into downturn. Yesterday there was an article in Mint, right? Because of trade war, 2% of world GDP can get eroded because of trade wars only, just because of taxes, right? Slowing global economy, global warming, sustainability, mergers and acquisition, geopolitical risks. Actually, all the above are example of geopolitical risks, geopolitical issues and risks. So, one thing that actually is asked by companies when they come to interview you is are the current affairs, right? Current affairs local is fine, but management students are expected to know the type of thing that I have written here. So I'm going to have 2 or 3 sessions starting next week on global business environment, right? And I will explain each of these terms actually to you slightly more in detail, right? Please attend. It's important. But regardless of that, I would like you to start reading, newspapers, business newspapers, Mint, livemint.com, Economic Times. You have to just spend half an hour on this. You have to just browse through the titles, what is really happening. If you go and read a newspaper, if you have read Mint in last 1 week, you will know there is something going on between Amazon and Future Group. You will definitely know it, right? It will not miss. You will have an idea, and if you read couple of lines, you will know a lot. There are very high quality articles which are published in these newspapers. And there are others. Hindu Business Line is another newspaper which is actually excellent, right? For the business management students to read. Hindu Business Line, Alignment.com, Economic Times. These are excellent newspapers to read. Any questions on this? Any questions on why it is relevant? Do you think this is relevant or is irrelevant? It's a nonsense. Do you think it's relevant? From as an MBA student, is it relevant to know about these things?
Yes, sir. It's relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for saying that. Okay. So, don't think this is like a mountain to climb. Even if you don't read newspaper every day, you can read alternate days. Some of these things you can't escape because problem is that these are going to catch up with you, right? I'm talking about competing with good business schools, right? Getting the jobs that other business schools which are supposed to be higher ranked than us are trying to aspire. There is no reason we cannot get those jobs, right? But we have to prepare ourselves to project ourselves, right? That's the thing. A couple of more slides I will cover in next 15-20 minutes, right? Adaptability. I may have spoken about this already, and this discussion came up in your school only when I was talking to your director, actually, right? We were having meetings. Thing is, what happens? What would you do if a company gives you a role which is different from the one that was offered? Did we discuss this? Did I discuss this with you? I did.
No, sir.
No,
I
sir.
did discuss. Yeah. So thing is, it may happen that you are taken for, let's say, a financial analysis role, right, as finance function, and then you are put in the finance operation, which is a generic finance or you're taken for a compensation benefit role, and you are put into HR generalist role, right, or you are taking for a advertising role, right, and you are as part of marketing function, and you are put into a sales job. It's quite possible. It may happen, right? It may happen, right? Now, what do we do? Will you be unhappy? Will get disappointed? Right? Because a lot of this question comes up from management students. The companies come and then they tell us that they're going to do this and they're going to give us this role, but they go and put us in different role, and then we are very unhappy now, right? Because my friend in other company is doing advertising work, right? She is doing advertising work. I am doing a sales job, which I have to go from one kirana store to another kirana store. Is just pathetic job. Why did I do MBA for, right? But the thing is, unless you, right, do the grunt work, right, very hands-on work, unless you know sales, you can't really do marketing. You can't do advertising also, right? You have to really work at the lowest level possible. Not necessarily salary. I'm not talking in terms of salary, but you have to know the pulse of in case of market, right? In case of for HR roles, you have to know the pulse of employees. So your role should be actually directly related to, something which has a lot of interaction with employees and so on. And not always possible, right? Or at the lowest possible level. In finance, unless you are at the transactional level, right? You are, for example, in audit function, you are really trying to go through the documents and reading every voucher and seeing, what that is, right? Thing is, you can't really learn the function. You can't really become a good managers, right? Because all of us have to actually grow from from bottom to top, right? So companies may take you for a higher role, right? Right, even entry level role, they may take you for something and they may give you something else. So don't get disappointed, right? I just want to make sure you don't get disappointed, right? See, use the opportunity given to showcase your skills. Adaptability is another thing they are going to see, right? Showcase your skill, show your ability to learn. What they will see, how is your aptitude, right? How is your attitude? whatever job is given to you, and unless they're going to downsize your salary and then they're going to give you a completely pathetic job, they're using you like an office boy or something like that, right? Then it's a different issue, right? You should showcase your skills, efficiency, communication skills, your professionalism, and things like that, right? And establish yourself. Establishing, see, actually, in any job that you go first, your first step is to establish yourself, right? You have to establish yourself saying that I am very professional, I am a hard worker, I am efficient, and I can learn everything that is given to me, right? You have to learn, because I think everybody has to learn. Even if when I change job today, I still have to learn, right, job in the new company, right? Because every company has a different way of working. Even if you are experienced, other company has a different culture, a different way of working, right? You must learn that. You have to learn to fit into a culture, which is going to be the next slide. I will talk about that, right? And then once you have established yourself, there is always 99% of the companies don't want to lose a good employee. I can say with a lot of confidence, right? Worked in several companies, managed large number of employees. Some of my colleagues who are coming and doing the sessions actually every day, these all people who come from the industry, right? No one wants to lose a good employee. No one. Everybody wants to retain a good employee. So if employee says, I have done, I would like to work in another function, on another role, they will appreciate it, right? They would like you to move. This, I can say with a lot of confidence, 99% of the companies will move you to a function of your choice if you have established yourself, if you have proven you are a good employee, right? So it's called lateral movement. When you move from one function to another function, it's called lateral movement, as I've shown here, right? You can move from one industry to another industry. It's called industry vertical movement, right? Industry, banking to insurance, for example, or banking to manufacturing. You may be in a finance function in banking, you can actually go to finance function in manufacturing. It's called vertical shift. When you move from one function to another function, it's called functional shift. And you can move from within one function itself, right? Sales and marketing to a sub function, right? You can go to branding from sales, right? It's called lateral switch. You can make a lateral move. You can, it is done, right? In a lot of companies, it's allowed, right? So that's the very important aspect. Adaptability is very, very important aspect, right? For you to have. They may also ask you questions, right? What are your future plans? And as I talked about, right? If you say, yeah, I'm looking for a role in advertising only because I like this and all that, which is fine. If you're confident that you are a creative person and you would like role in advertising and you're clear about it, then I think so be it. That's not a problem at all. But if you are okay taking job in various functions within marketing, on various functions within finance, or various functions within HR, then you need to say, I am open, right? I will join and I'll figure it out. I am open, whatever work you're going to give me in HR, I am going to make sure that it is done to the best possible way. And then I will figure out what is the best function for me, right? You can say that if you want to. Or you can say, yeah, I am fine with this role for now. Next 2-3 years, I am fine with this role. And as I join, since I don't have experience right now, I will know more about various functions in HR and I will decide. That's also fine. And that's a very honest answer, actually, right? That's a very honest answer. No one can refute that answer when you say that, right? So you need to have these kind of adaptability questions. You need to be ready for the adaptability kind of question, because they are also trying to see how stable will you be. If you are a finance graduate, management graduate, and a company like Ernst & Young's comes to recruit you, they may put you in an audit role, which will be very mundane kind of role. You understand, mundane? They will put you in an audit job where you will have to go through the big pile of papers and then work through that whole day, which is perfectly fine, right? Which is perfectly fine. That teaches you a lot of things, because you will see different kind of vouchers, right? How purchasing activity is happening, right? Basically, if you work at the lowest level possible, you actually know how business runs, right? If you are put into a position immediately, you will not know how business runs, right? So it's very, very important. And your adaptability is directly related to your stability, right? How stable you will be. And the employer is going to see how stable you will be. Okay. Any questions? Any questions at all? So last thing is this. I keep asking questions actually. What is the single biggest challenge in getting people to work together effectively? What is the single biggest challenge? Nowadays companies are global actually, right? What do you think is the single biggest challenge in getting people to work together effectively? So this is another aspect people are seeing. No?
So perception, sir.
Perception. Yes, perception is definitely. Perception, absolutely. What is the root cause? Yeah, you're right. Perception actually is the right answer. I may not have written that here, but perception actually is a problem because we create a perception. Why perception is happening? Because it's actually what happens is because go ahead.
everybody has got different backgrounds, sir.
Everybody has got different background. Excellent. Everybody has got different background. इसलिए we are having perception of other person. Perception by itself means that the reality differs from what you see, what you perceive, right? See, communication is a big issue, right? Communication is big issue. We are not effectively communicating. See, if we communicate effectively, right? And if we can, communication is also communication also means actually the way I'm communicating, you are able to interpret that way, right? That's the problem, which is very difficult thing to do, right? Very, very difficult to see in multinational, multicultural environment, right? It becomes very, very important for people to work together. So you have to be culturally very sensitive. Sensitization does not mean sensitive. You have to be sensitive. You have to be aware of cultural differences, right? And not let the perceptions form, right? For example, you go to Tokyo, right? And if you ask, Japanese people are known to not take decisions very quickly, right? They need their time to introspect. So when you ask in a business meeting, you may have 1 hour meeting, you may present something, and then you may think you have done a great job. They may have asked a lot of questions. You may think, yeah, it's done deal, but they may not say anything about it. And you may think, yeah, it's done, but it is not done yet, right? So you have to give them time. So thing is, similarly, when Indians communicate with Europeans, right, there are a lot of connotations which actually get miscommunicated, right? So thing is, what you see, and culture somehow is not visible from just by talking to people, right? As you can see, this iceberg, right? Culture actually of a company is like an iceberg, right? You have to be very careful when you join a company. You have to be very careful because there's a lot of aspects actually hidden under the water, right? So many organizations, especially MNCs, see cultural awareness as big plus while recruiting employees. Now, is it possible for you to know, how the culture of a company is? No, it is not possible for you to know. But you can. There are few things that you can do, which is going to sound very cliche, right? Few things you can do to ensure that you don't mess up, right? There was some issue just a couple of weeks back, right? There is a company which came, and I can't name that. The company which came and one of our students from the senior batch offered bribe to that company, right? So that actually is a disaster. That's a disaster not only for him, that's a disaster for institute, because we have not taught as part of our management ethics, right? Anti-bribery, non-solicitation. These are very, very important aspects. Non-solicitation, anti-bribery are very important aspect. It may happen in the government office to get a job. It doesn't happen in private organization, especially MNCs and all that. How do you then make sure that, right? As I said, this is cliched, right? But it's very important when you join in a call, a meeting, timeliness is very important. When you say something, I'm going to deliver this today or later tomorrow, reliability is very important. Some of the companies that I've worked with it, and they had a false perception about, somebody says perception, that Indians tell only on Friday that it is not going to be delivered today. Friday means on the last day they will say, yeah, by the way, it is not going to be delivered today. When your client has already readied everything else and they are expecting the delivery, right? Whether it's a management consulting assignment or it's a software delivery or whatever it is, right? They are planned their activities for Monday. And Friday evening, we are going to deliver a message saying that, boss, we are behind by a week. Because we think that we are going to move sun and moon and skies and heavens and all that to see if we can deliver by Friday. Not that, and people will have a very good idea about it on Tuesday itself that probably will not be able to deliver. Right? So transparency is very important, and which is directly related to reliability and dependability. Right? Dedication, and I see some of these terms may be sounding very cliched, but these are very important aspects. Basically, as simple as that. If you are honest, right, and if you don't jump into conclusions very quickly, you are able to cooperate, follow certain ethics, give yourself time and give others time, and dignity of labor. Dignity of labor, what does it mean? Dignity of labor means no job is less, right? Every job is good, right? Again, this is not to be confused that you take any dirty job. I'm not at all saying, right? Once you're offered a job, company is good, give your best. Give yourself time, give company a time, and then you will see things will change. So cultural sensitization is very important because you may have to work with various people, right? Because nowadays there are a lot of multinational banks like Fidelity, right? My son has joined a job recently, very recently, actually 2 months back. He joined Fidelity Financial Services, and then his training is happening right now online, and then there's Americans who are actually training him, that batch. There are a lot of sessions going on and all that, a lot of discussions and all that. There's some people in the group which are actually participating from Europe and from other places also. What happens is the intent is training, and some of you may actually get into a situation like that, right? It becomes very important for you to really act following all these principles, right? If you are clear that I will cooperate, collaborate, everybody, I will not try to create perception. They may create perception from about you, right? But then as long as you follow certain protocols, I think you should be okay. But you, most importantly, you have to give yourself time, right? Any questions on this? I know this is not an easy thing. We can go on. An HR expert can talk about cultural sensitization in a big way, right? I'm not covering that. I'm giving you only basic toolkit, right? Saying that there's something like this exists. You have to be careful, right? Don't jump into conclusion, right, about things. Communicate effectively. Be polite. Be professional. I think as long as we are professional, I think we are fine. Okay, I think I'm done. There is next slide on the job roles. I don't want to cover that because I think that's being covered by other speakers. I might have one more session to talk about a few aspects on code of that I will explain. I will convey to you. But we are going to have next week sessions on global business environment. Okay, so we will have a session on that next week. Okay, so any questions, any thoughts, any feedback on the sessions that you had so far? Because in a way, it's my responsibility to drive the entire IPP program. So I would be very happy to get a feedback from you. I'll prefer a feedback since we are in the session. We can use the next 5 minutes to discuss anything that you would like, that you may have for me for the sessions that are going on. No? All
Yes,
good?
sir. I have a question.
Go ahead, Chetan.
Hello, sir.
in a present situation, as a fresh MBA graduate with good skills, what minimum salary can we expect, sir?
In present situation, you are breaking up, Chetan. Can you
Yes,
please?
sir.
Yeah, please repeat.
Sir, in the present situation, as an MBA fresh graduates, what minimum salaries we can expect, sir?
See, actually,
with good skills.
Yeah, see, actually, with good skills, see, actually, well, very difficult question to answer, Chetan. But I know where you're coming from, right? Uh,
Yes.
I can't stick my neck out, but since you answer, it's not my style to shy away from questions, actually, right? So I'm not going to give you an ambiguous answer, right? I think you should expect a salary if with reasonably good skills anywhere between 5 to 8 lakhs, right? Given the current situation and all that right now. We are aspiring to actually up that, right? Because potential is there to actually increase it to much higher number, much higher number, right?
Yes.
But I think that's the range you should be expecting. If you land up in a good role and you have good skills. That's what I feel, right? Again, this is not to be taken as a promise because I am not recruiting, right? You know that. I just don't like
Yes, sir.
giving ambiguous answers, right? Some people get confused with that. I would like to be as honest as possible. So, any other questions?
Oh. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? You see, Chetan.
Session was good, sir.
Okay, Pratima. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yesterday also in banking sector they were explaining even that was really good, and I want my request is I want keep a webinar which build our skills. Like these all theory. We want to learn something like in practical as you did one webinar in Excel sheet. One person came and he did in. Present time value of money, I guess. So keep something like that. So it will be also really curious. So we are done with the theory now. So all are telling the theory. So do some sessions relating to some practical things.
Yes. So I
Any
get
software or something like that.
Sure. So Pratima, so that's good feedback, and the industry preparedness program is designed such a way. So there are two things I want to tell you actually, right? There are two things I want to tell you. See, the theory aspect is covered in the class in your core and specialization subjects, right? The topic that we are covering are awareness topic, right? But what we have done is there are workshops coming up, right? The industry preparedness program has sessions, trends and business functions and all that. Then there are workshops, which are workshops for the skills. They'll give you a certification, right? So, for example, for students of finance, supply chain, and IT, we are going to have workshops on. Obviously, there is a workshop on advanced financial evaluation, internal controls, right? That's one workshop which is done by a retired partner from Ernst and Young, right? And partner is like a CEO, so he's going to do that workshop. I think it's going to happen week after Diwali, right? Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are going to have 4 workshops for the group 1. You are in group 3, and you will also have that, right? Group 1, we are going to have 4 workshops tomorrow. One is on business analysis, basics of business analysis in IT companies, basics of application software testing, right? What is testing, what are the tools, how it is done, how you write a test case, how you test, right? That is, so it is done by a former AVP and function head for testing from Infosys. We are going to have a workshop on HR analytics tomorrow, done by an HR manager from ITC, Professor Purush Singh, right? He is going to do it. We also are going to have a workshop tomorrow on sales excellence, right? So we are going to have a workshop. Yes, so Pratima, workshops are coming, which are going to be skill imparting, right? So you must attend those. Have you registered? I have heard this feedback
Yes, sir. Yes,
that people
sir.
have not registered for workshops, right?
Registered.
Sir, I would like to point out here the 155 students have registered, sir.
Very
for
good.
ABU.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
And one more thing is, sir, I don't know. It's possible from the management. Um, there is a there is a Coursera course.
Mhm.
So many colleges are getting enrolled to the Coursera, and they are giving free courses for students. So
Hmm.
is it possible for our college to do that?
Yeah, I think it was done earlier. Maybe Dharmendra and Mr. Dharmendra and Professor Harshit can tell more about it. I know for DSU it was done earlier. That window has gone out. That window has expired where people could do certain Coursera courses free of cost and then they will get certification. My understanding is, Pratima, you can still do courses and certification probably you get after 2 months or something. That's what I understand it, right? Uh, Professor Harshit, Mr. Dharmendra, do you know anything about it?
No, sir. Sir, it was done only for DSU. For
Hmm.
DSI, it was not done. So we could not access even. We wanted to provide it to our students, but it was not done to DSI, sir. That was the issue.
I will see if we can do that again for entire DSI and DSU. I will see. I can't promise it, but I will see. Mohammed Faisal has said, sir, what are the common mistakes freshers do during their interviews and how to avoid it? So we are going to have, Mohammed, we are going to have a session on best practices for personal interviews and group discussion. It will be done by Mr. MG Raghuraman, right? He is an executive coach, right? He was also chief information officer in Emphasis HP company earlier. So he is going to do those sessions. Is coming up in next couple of weeks, right? So those that session is coming. Faisal, it will be unwise for me to tell you one or two things. You should hear from the expert, right? So that session is going to happen, and please attend that session. How to crack a personal interviews? What are the best practices in personal interviews? Okay, that's going to happen. Any other questions? Any thoughts?
Sir, as most companies are conducting their first round as GD and aptitude,
Hmm.
can you please conduct GD and aptitude mock tests, sir?
So GD we are going to do. Aptitude mock test, Ritu, is not going to be possible. Aptitude test, you go to indiabix.com. indiabix.com. I think I had said this earlier, right? And then please practice, right? Uh,
Yes, sir.
what?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
have referred that website during my PGCET.
Hmm. Yeah.
Found that the questions that we learned and that we solved in PGCET exam and India Bix were totally different, sir.
Okay. I will take a look at it. See, actually, unfortunately, we don't have that kind of for your batch. We don't have that kind of time and bandwidth and resources to really do aptitude tests because we don't have expertise to design aptitude test and all that. We will probably take a look at it for your next batch, to be really frank, because we have launched this year and we have launched in too much of a hurry to make sure that your batch is covered. So aptitude, I'm not really sure we'll be able to cover, right? We will see if we can get somebody to help you out. But aptitude is very broad area, right? That's the thing. We'll see
Oh,
what we can do.
okay, sir.
But if you make best use of what we have so far, right? And I'm going to see if we can do some Coursera courses. We can do something about it. Workshops, please attend. They are going to be very helpful. See, what will happen is even if your takeaway is little for you, we are going to give you certification, right? And you will learn a lot of jargons in the workshop, right? Pay attention to those and do your own research in those areas, right? So, but we have lined up very good people for workshops, very good people for workshops. So they're high credibility people.
Yes, sir. I agree. Thank you for that, sir.
Okay. Okay, then I think we'll close the session. Thank you for attending. Let's make sure that next session is also interactive. We have next session coming at 11:30. He is not doing at 11. Professor Jitendra Patri is going to do it at 11:30. Okay. Sounds good. Have a good day then. Can we do
Okay,
Udemy
sir. Thank you
courses?
so much,
Yeah,
sir.
you can do. Thanks. There was the last question, Udemy. Yeah, I think Udemy is okay. Coursera is actually much deeper. You can do Udemy. Udemy courses tend to be very hollow, right? But I'm not an expert in that. See, anything that you do, right? You, as I said in the first slide of my session yesterday, you should be able to sustain the questions in that area, right? If you say I have done certification in that area, they will really grill you in that area, that at your level, right? So you should know, you should be able to defend, right? So be careful when you write something in your resume. You have to be careful. Do few things, but develop depth in that area, specialization, right? And it does not mean they are going to expect a lot of understanding from you. At your level, whatever you have studied, make sure that you are clear about the concept. I would prefer you choose few certifications and few courses and then do a good job of those, rather than acquiring tons of certifications, and that doesn't help. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Dharmendra. Thank you, Professor Harshit. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I have one request to you.
Yes, sir.
Kindly pass on that presentation of yours, sir.
I will, sir. I will send it to you. I will send it to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And students, please submit your feedback and attendance. And also, the marketing students, please attend the 11:30 session. It's not at 11:30. Please attend. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Bye-bye.